Kalen, first of all, welcome to Indiana.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Thank you.
Looking forward to seeing your work here with the Hoosiers, and obviously we want to find out a little bit about you at this point. Give us a little bit of story of your background, just basically where you grew up and schools you went to, and a little bit about your background as far as families
You
concerned.
bet. Yeah, originally from South Dakota. Grew up in a small town, really small, about 4,000 is all. And then went to a small college after that in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, called the University of Sioux Falls, small college football. Played there. I was fortunate enough to be a part of a national championship there my senior year. Coached high school ball for 2 years and came back to my alma mater at the University of Sioux Falls, became the offensive coordinator for 5 years, and then took over as head coach when our head coach retired. And was fortunate enough to go to 4 national championships and win 3 there at the University of Sioux Falls, and then got a chance to go to Southern Illinois University, and that's a FCS football, and was the offensive coordinator there for 4 years. Got the call from Chris Creighton up at Eastern Michigan when he took over, and became the offensive coordinator there for 3, and the last 2 years at Fresno State.
Obviously, you've had a great background from a football perspective. How did you get started playing football?
Yeah, that's really interesting because the area, my grade school was so small. If I would have continued on and that school wouldn't have shut down, I would have never been a part of a football program. And so, fortunately, looking back on it, that school closed down and went on to playing football. And funny enough, it just had some really good coaches, and one actually left. And I was thinking about not even playing. I love baseball, love basketball, and all that. And fortunately, my junior year, a coach came in that, just really kind of let me kind of feel it out and grew to love football. He gave me the greatest experience I could have ever asked for, playing football in high school. And the same thing applied to college. Being part of a team and having a head coach that, I just saw why he did it, and, then obviously how he did it as well. But it just gave me the motivation. I knew I loved athletics, but when I saw the motivation to, inspire and help young men. And it just became a passion of mine. And so, here you are 20 years later, still doing it and knowing this is what I'm supposed to do.
You were at Sioux Falls for 5 years as a head coach, and you won 3 national championships at the NAIA level at that school. Obviously, doing it in that short a time, you obviously had some understanding philosophies, those kinds of things to go into it. Tell us a little bit about that story.
Well, you know that you're only as good as the people you surround yourself with, and I was really fortunate to have some great coaches that I knew well, many that I had played football with at the University of Sioux Falls, and so we had a common voice. We had common beliefs and understandings, not just football, but how we wanted the program run. And so, we weren't fighting a lot of those battles. We weren't fighting each other. Everyone was headed in the same direction. But then, it just became a thing where, when you're the head coach and also the offensive coordinator, I just knew that I wanted to, give the defense all the resources they had, and that staff did an awesome job. And then, I just tried to develop a system that could be consistent year in and year out while I'm handling the head coaching duties. And, it's just kind of where you develop, who you are. And we became a very physical football team, threw the ball down the field, play action pass, and so forth. And I think it was after that, the moves I've had since then where you kind of develop a little bit more of the detail and intricacies of the passing game. And that's, been something I think kind of we hang our hat on here the last probably, 6, 7, 8 years where I've been. We kind of developed that, that high efficient, intermediate down passing game as well beyond just the, the play action shots down the field.
Did it evolve once you got into, after you were a head coach, then you became an assistant? Did it evolve from that point with the other guys that you worked with at Southern Illinois, at Eastern Michigan, and then, of course, at Fresno?
Yeah, I think everyone that you ever work with influences who you become, in the football world and as a person. And, so I know there's a lot of people that have influenced me, that I've worked with in just the last 8, 9 years. And that's certainly how you shape things. And then also there's the adjustment when you go to different places. You have different personnel, and you have different styles. And when you're the assistant coach, you kind of know the style that the head coach wants to have, and so I've been able to adjust a little bit, bring my stuff, make the small adjustments to our personnel at those institutions, make the adjustment to what it's going to take for us to win a football game, because that's really what the head coach wants, and we all want. And so, then looking for that, that same thing here. We'll adjust to our personnel. We kind of will do, start with what I've done in the past, but adjust and do whatever it takes to win football games.
Interesting, Coach, background of Tom Allen and what kind of success he had as a defensive coordinator and the quick changes he made. You have made kind of the same transitions. Every place you've been able to turn the program in essentially 1 year's time.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that and how it's come about.
Yeah, again, I mean, it's just diving into it, you got to go all in. And I think that's the number one thing. You just got to go all in and, get the staff to be on the same page, with your plan and your organization, your preparation. And so that way the guys can see that, hey, this is the direction we want this to go. It doesn't mean it will keep always going in that direction. Year one, you might realize a couple things with this personnel grouping and so forth. But, it's just a matter of being all in on it. And then really just still coming back to the fundamentals and communication and belief and confidence. And I think that's really what it is, because, as football coaches in the football world, we run pretty much all the same concepts. They're just called something different. And having a system that is easily adjustable to fit what direction you needed to go, whether it's at halftime or whether it's throughout the season or whether it's from year to year, I feel like we have a system that's flexible that allows us to do that.
How did you get to know Tom Allen? How did you guys meet one another? And obviously you've researched it, so you know that Tom Allen's a good coach.
Yeah, I met Tom back, I know I was at Southern Illinois, so I'm thinking it was about 2011, somewhere in there, at a football clinic, and just, understood who he was and got talking to him about our pasts and a few of the common people that we knew in the coaching world, and talked about our experiences. And then I've just followed him throughout the years, and I think in the latter years now, as he's kind of become a head coach, kind of pay attention to what other people are doing, and we've stayed in contact. Again, some of those common friends are still in place, and so we see each other periodically throughout the year, I know what he's all about. I know what type of person he is. I know what type of coach he is. What the energy he brings and the love he has for the players, and the experience that we want to give these guys, being one of the greatest experiences of their life. I know we share that whole, that's why we coach philosophy.
Sure.
And so just looking forward to that and bringing the energy that I can to the offensive side of the ball, and bring the staff together, to where we all got the same voice.
Talk a little bit about what you've seen here thus far. I'm sure you've tried to look at some film if you've had any time. I'm sure you've been recruiting and all those kinds of things. What do you see about this program that really intrigues you? Yeah,
well, one thing that's really exciting to me is what's happening with the strength and conditioning. Because in the end, it's about the performance of the players, and having guys that you can have the concepts and be all that, but they got to be able to make some plays and limit the injuries. Because every place, I don't care where I've been, you're always one big injury away from the wrong guy,
right.
of struggling a little bit more than you'd like. So I just feel like that was one of the things that was really impressive to me. And then the staff, just meeting them and seeing the excitement they have for the players. A lot of young guys overall, I think, throughout the program, and the excitement we have for them, I think, is something that I think they'll feel. And that's really, I've watched a little bit of film today, just flipping through some things, and I see, it seems like we got some big receivers, and got some linemen returning, a few linemen returning, and some backs and quarterbacks that are certainly be competing and excited to get back on the field. Because I know there's some injuries to a few of those positions a year ago.
Obviously, you've got family. Tell us a little about your family.
Yeah, my wife Nicole and I have been married now 17 years. She is from Sioux Falls as well. And then we have two daughters, ages 13 and 6, and Alexis and Avery.
As far as football is concerned, hitting the ground running is always an important factor. Getting the assistants to buy into your philosophy, those kinds of things. Have you seen that transition start to take place?
We haven't even met here. They're all on the road, and I just came in yesterday, so we haven't had a chance. But I do know a few of the coaches throughout the years, and then there's a couple of even the graduate assistants that I was with at Eastern Michigan. So there's a familiarity besides Coach Allen, and just a lot of that was what made it easier for me to talk to them and understand where the program was headed and what it needed to take the next step. And so I'm excited to see those guys, and I'm here to learn too. I know I'm around some expert coaches and I consider myself a lifelong learner. And I'm excited to see things. There's more than one way to do things right. Obviously, there's the philosophy that I have and things that I like to do. But I know there's some great coaches here on this staff, and excited to get in the room and hash it out.
Style of play, you obviously have seen some of what Indiana has done. Is it going to change a lot?
There's going to be a lot of similarities, but I think that what I see is that there was a strong run game at times, throughout the season, and we need to take advantage of that, with some play action, to be able to get the ball down the field a little bit, and that should naturally pull people down in there and take our shots. But there's a lot of high efficiency things in the pass game that I saw that will carry over, and then to me it's just about the belief and the excitement the guys have. The X's and O's are a major part of it. I get that, but it's about them just feeling it and riding the momentum that you can create, and just the business of going to work every single day, getting better. And if you do that, it's amazing how far you can go from today until fall camp starts, till the first game, till the end of the season. And we're on a journey, and that process that we're in during this journey, if it's handled the right way. The X's and O's will be important, the style of play, but I think you'll see a passion on the field, hopefully, where guys are just excited because they can't wait to get out there and make the next big play.
Coach, thank you very much for the interview, and
You bet.
best of luck here in Indiana.
Thank you for having me.